What's up, guys? My name is Ben. I'm here with Third Shift Media, and today we are interviewing Trevor with Trevor Sweeney Media. How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It's nice and sunshiny here in Albuquerque, so can't complain.
It's not Texas hot, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's been way too hot everywhere, so.
Texas is awesome, but yeah, it's hot.
It was like 110 when I was there. It was awful. It was the worst.
I believe it
Yeah.
completely. Okay, so you are on tour currently photographing Spite with Attila, Rings of Saturn Volume, and Suicide Silence for a portion of the dates, as well as Cross Your Fingers.
Yep.
How's it feel?
Dude, it's been absolutely amazing. Every date has been crazy. Rooms have packed out. It's been very surreal. Touring with bands I grew up listening to has been very cool. So, yeah, it's been awesome.
Awesome. Well, tonight we're having this show at Sunshine Theater, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty packed house.
Banger? Hell yeah, dude. Sick.
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started.
Wow. How I got started. So, I started when I was 16. I started taking photos when I was 16. Just shooting random stuff. Like very low key. It wasn't like no one knew I was doing photos. So I was more of like a sports guy. Played a lot of sports growing up. So like no one knew I did photography really. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in high school. So I decided, hey, I took a video class in high school and decided, hey, I think it would be cool to do video stuff. And then I went to school for that. And then I started getting more into photography. And then some band asked me to do their photos one night, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. And then like I just fell in love with it like immediately. It was just so cool that I could connect with something like that. So then I just kept doing it, and everything just started escalating, and here we are. Like, it's basically that, like, I just kept shooting and shooting. So, yeah. My first show I shot was 4 years ago. It was the first show I shot. So, yeah, I've been shooting shows for 4 years.
And what show was that?
It was a local show for this band called Quarter. And my friend that was in it, he's in a band now that's called Earthgrounds. He was the bass player of this local band.
I love that band.
And now he's in Earthgrounds. Shout out Earthgrounds. Shout out Caden.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah. Shout out Caden Burton. He like was the one that was like, dude, you should shoot. I was like, okay. And then everything just went from there. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's kind of like the way that I went to, like, took video classes in high school, and anytime we had a project that like revolved around that, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, my mind was like exploding whenever I got to be able to be behind a camera, and I was like, kind of when I realized like, okay, this is kind of like cool. I would love to do this, you know. So
yeah, it's like really awesome, just like getting to like see your work like come to life like that, and like just getting to like shoot shows every night for like however long the tour is.
Yeah, like the whole tour thing is like very surreal. Like when I first started touring, I saw like one of my friends post like a status about like needing a tour photographer, and I was like, oh, pick me. And like no one knew who I was. Like I literally had no idea what I was doing, and then he took me out, and I like wasn't paid, just like toured, you know, just like did an unpaid tour and shot and worked my ass off. So yeah, that's how that started too.
Yeah, that's a lot of like what people don't realize is like with stuff like that, like photo or video, you're gonna have to do a lot of that stuff unpaid before it's like...
Oh, absolutely. I did that for years. Like I did unpaid stuff for so long until I got paid for my first shoot. That was like $50 from a band or something, you know. You have to work. You can't just expect things to kind of fall in your lap.
It all starts somewhere.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so you've gone on tour as a photographer with Spite previously, I believe, right?
Nope, this is my first tour with
them. Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh no, it was Body Snatcher.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, even at that, just going on tour with Spite, how is it? Like, how would you describe it?
I don't know. Every night I get so nervous to shoot them. It's so weird because like this is like day whatever. It's like one of the last weeks of tour, but every night I get nervous, so I get really anxious, and like their music like pumps me up so much, and like I generally just love their music, and like the fact I get to shoot a band that I like a lot is super cool, and like I get so fucking pumped to shoot them, and they're they do something different every night. They don't do the same thing every night. They're always energetic. They're not like sitting in one place. They're like always doing shit, and it's like so cool to like capture them doing different stuff every night. There's something different. I get something different every day, and it's like so cool to shoot them, and it's a privilege and an honor to be a part of what their movement is right now. So
absolutely, those guys are awesome. They really are.
They're the up and coming band, man.
Yeah.
Like they're the real deal. So
absolutely. Okay, so from what I've gathered is you tend to go on tour with a lot of hardcore bands. You've as I mentioned, you've gone on tour with Body Snatcher, the Acacia Strain, bands of said nature. Is that just something you typically pick, or is it just basically you're asked and then you just go with it?
I mean, I grew up loving deathcore and like metal and hardcore. But I mean, I've done one other tour that wasn't like heavy. It was like more of like an emo tour. It was with that band called Household. And I was on that tour with. It was like Census Fail, Reggie and the Full Effect, Have Mercy. That was like a different tour for me, but it was super cool. But I mean, I picked kind of like heavy tours to begin with, just because of the music I like the most. So it's like it makes sense. But I mean, I mostly just do heavy tours, really, for the most part. But yeah.
Awesome. You do music videos as well, and actually a few bands that you've worked with have recently gotten signed. How does that feel?
It's really cool. Like the last video I did was for a band called Weather, and they got signed to Face Down. It was like their video to announce that they got on Face Down, and that was the first video, like the first like label video I did. That was kind of like, whoa, that's really cool, like, you know. And that band has worked really hard. I've known them since they were like one of the first bands I like got to know in Minneapolis, so it was really cool to do that video for them. But yeah, it's like super rewarding to have a video like kind of like on a label and like have stuff like
just
that.
Like oh, hey,
it's
I
pretty
did
cool.
that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to like see people like share it,
Yeah.
like random people too. So it's cool.
Yeah. You've been a freelance photographer for well over a year now. What was the main factor in making that decision for yourself?
God, dude, this was crazy. So I had a job going on the Convention tour. I went on the Convention tour. I had a job, like I was like a screen printer, in La Crosse, and I went on that tour. I was gone for probably as long as this tour was, and then I came back, and then like I was doing like pretty much full-time freelance when I was working at this job. That was a part-time job, and then I came back, and then like something happened at work. Like they switched like bosses on my shift, and then like that boss just so happened to like not like me at all. And then like a week after the tour I got like laid off, and like I was like, so I didn't have a job. I was basically like unemployed. So then I realized like, you know what, fuck it, let's try. Like I was like, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna go 100%. I'm not gonna like stop. I'm gonna do it every day. Like I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna do as much as I can. So I did that, and here we are. Like I just kept doing it, and you know, I moved to Minneapolis, and a lot of my work was coming from there. So like I just decided to keep doing it and didn't really need to look for jobs. My parents were really pissed. My parents were not stoked that I was like not trying to find a job. Like they were like, you're gonna be homeless and all this. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I just I basically had to do it in order to like live. So that was basically like kind of the ending point for that. So I just had to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like in a situation like that, it's like I either kind of have to work my ass off, or I am gonna be homeless.
Yep. Yeah, I was for a little bit, I was extremely uncomfortable, like, you know, just scraping by, like you know, eating ramen noodles, PB&Js like at home, like it was very hard at first, but like it was getting more rewarding as time went. Saved enough money to go to Minneapolis, move there, and then start working, and then everything fell into place there. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Absolutely. It sounds like you've really like built yourself up.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was a process. It didn't like happen overnight. It was like I worked very hard. So yeah.
Awesome. So who are some photographers and cinematographers that you look up to?
Okay. Randy Edwards. He's a good friend of mine. He's very hardworking photographer, videographer. He does things that I like don't understand how he does it. He's like one of those people. He's like more of a music photographer, videographer, and then I also look up to a photographer named Dustin Hollywood. He's more of a portrait photographer, lifestyle photographer. He has his own brand, and he like just does it so different. Like he just makes everything looks unreal. He's just a photographer I look up to as well. But yeah, those are the two main ones I definitely look up to. But
Awesome.
But like for the most part, as far as like photographers, I try to like I open my mind to other people, and then like I take like inspiration, but like I don't like look up that many people to grab inspiration. I try to like make it my own as much as possible. But there's a lot. I could go on for days of like how many people I like look up to. But those are the two main ones for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's on your playlist when you're out on the road?
Ooh, yeah. So the Spike guys listen to a lot of metal. So like I try to like not listen to metal when I'm on the road, but like as far as like listening as of right now, been listening to the new Wet album. They're like an indie band. They're super good. A lot of Lil Pump, a lot of good rap, you know, stuff like that. It's just fun. Lil Pump for sure. Trying to think of more people. Now just came out with a new record. I listen to that a lot. I'm trying to think of more. Georgia Smith, she's an R&B artist.
Okay.
Sabrina Claudio, like a lot of R&B for sure. A lot of R&B and rap. Try to like keep it, you know. And a new Def Heaven, that is on constantly.
Yeah, a lot of my friends that like go on tour, it's funny like when they come back and they're like promoting shows and stuff like that, and they're just putting on like anything like except like the genre that they went on tour
honestly, with. Def Heaven's the only band that I'll like put on that's like kind of like in the realms of that I'll put on that's like close to metal. So them, Power Trip, I mean, that's an exception. That band rips.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I mean those are mostly like the ones I've been listening to. The new Travis Scott album, like I don't know, it's just like a bunch of rap and R&B for the most part.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like if you're listening to basically the same bands play every night, like it makes sense. Like you need a change of pace.
Oh, absolutely. Like metal, like I love it, but I just can't listen to it all the time, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. What is your current and or go-to camera setup?
Okay. My go-to camera setup is a Canon 5D Mark II with a 24 Sigma art lens 1.4. That is my main setup for like shows, and I have a battery grip on it too. It's an older camera, which is, I mean, I had the 16, then it broke, and then I just went back to that camera. But I'm soon gonna upgrade. But that is the main setup for shows, and then I have the 35 art as well for like portraits and everything in between. So I just have two lenses.
Awesome.
Very simple, very to the point. Nothing too crazy. I'm trying to you know broaden it out, but it works.
Awesome. Hey, I mean, as long as it's working for you, then like whatever, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Like it gets the job done. It's been beat up a lot, so it's the fact that it's so high shutter. It's amazing how it still works. So much shit has happened to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What is any piece of advice or just advice in general that you would give to any aspiring photographers or cinematographers?
Network. Keep networking. Building relationships with people, genuine relationships. Don't push yourself on people. Just work really hard. Shoot a lot. Show people, like, just shoot shows for free. Like, don't ask for anything. Just shoot them, send them to them as fast as possible. Like, be in their face. Like, grind. Just do as much as possible. Like, do free tours. Like, don't pigeonhole it. Don't like sell yourself short, but like your first couple tours, like keep, you know, doing those for free. Like just get your name out there as much as possible. Just work really hard. Like a lot of bands need content. A lot of bands need like good media. Just like work really hard, learn from other people. Like just be genuine. For sure, network. You know, just like stuff like that. It's very simple. It's like it's not that complex really, but you just working hard.
Right, absolutely. I think that does kind of bleed into the last question, but like any tips that you have for like someone wanting to go on tour as a concert photographer?
Yeah. Just make genuine connections with people. Like really network with them. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said earlier. But yeah, just working really hard, grinding. You know.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have. If you haven't yet, check out Trevor Sweeney Media on Facebook, Instagram. I think you're on everything, right?
Yeah, Instagram is at Trevor Sweeney, my name, and then the Twitter is that as well. My website is on everything too, so yeah. I'm also coming out with a book at some point this year, like with everything I've done since the beginning. It's going to be really cool, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have. It's been a pleasure interviewing you. This has been with Third Shift Media. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and that's it.
Hell yeah.